All right, kids, we talked about the worst of TV in 2022. Let's talk about the best. So kick back, relax. Let's get this party started.
Number 24.
Admittedly, Paper Girls was a surprise. I wasn't going to watch it, but then at the end, I realized, wait a second, it's a comic book show. I should at least, because we're going to be talking about best and worst comic book TV and all that kind of stuff, I got to check it out, see if it's worth it. Okay, and was quite surprised. I had a good time with this. Granted, they're a little bit, the characters are a little bit more caricature than characters. You know, the tough one's really tough all the time. Yeah, that kind of thing. And it's overplayed a little bit, but I like the premise of going back in time and meeting your older self. Now you have to get your older self to help stop the destruction of the universe. It was far beyond what I thought a comic book called Paper Girls would be. I never read it. It just looked like one more slice of life kind of comic book that bores the crap out of me. Now I really want to read the comic because of what I saw in the television show.
Number 23.
Wait, Pamela Anderson had a porn movie out. Dudes, we got to see this. Man, I'm serious. That was the attitude in the 90s. And Pam and Tommy kind of tell their side of the story on this one. And it is good. It's a bit surreal. I mean, at one point in time, you have Tommy Lee's penis talking to him. So I don't know what they were going for as far as tone. It's obviously comedy drama on this one. And you really do feel for Pamela Anderson after this. And kind of make you feel guilty if you're my age or a little bit, maybe a little bit younger, and you went searching for the thing. Overall, the acting is top notch across the board. The television show is just fun. It also includes the barbed wire stuff. So, yeah. Overall, I was surprised at how much I liked this story and how much it affected.
Number 22.
Now, I had to come to grips a long time ago with the fact that I'm a Tim Allen fan. It just so happened that every movie I saw, even the bad ones, except for that jungle one in New York, but I just liked. He's entertaining to me. So his best franchise, Santa Claus, comes out with a freaking TV show. I got to check it out. And it turns out, well, you know what? I like the world building in there. I like the fact that they bring it back to some religious and some mystical aspects of it. We get an explanation more as to why Scott Calvin was actually chosen to be Santa Claus. It wasn't just a random guy falls off the roof, now you take the coat. There's so much world building in this. It is so very entertaining. Even if I think this is basically a longer version of Santa Claus 2, but it's done pretty well.
Number 21.
We've done a full live review of the Sandman TV show here on this channel, so please, by all means, check that out. It goes way in depth. For a little summary of my particular opinion about the show, it's pretty good. There you go. I think it's better when it sticks to the book instead of when it kind of goes off on its own. I don't know about the decision to make Corinthian the main character all the way through. I do like each and every episode where we get to visit different parts of the dreaming. I do not like his subordinates talking back to him. So there's good and there's bad. There's take, there's give. You know, it's just, it's got potential. It does have potential, but I don't think we're ever going to see that potential come to fruition. But what you got, it's all right.
Number 20.
Season 4 of Ozark would have been higher up on this list had I not had time to think about it. I think when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I didn't like the fact that they killed the little girl, the country girl there. I guess it was inevitable. This is where it would have ended. But she had been so smart up to that point. I don't see herself just giving up and getting shot. Maybe, okay, yeah, she's tired, but I don't see that because she never did this before. This is like the first time. And so that kind of pushed it back a little bit. But still, this is an intense story. It's very well acted and definitely worth watching.
Number 19.
Okay, Doom Patrol 4. I don't know if this would be cheating because at this point we still have a couple episodes left, but still it's just so fun. It's so wild. It's so weird. And these characters, for as crude and abrasive as they are just intensely cool to follow and cool to watch. All right, that's why I've got it here. It's just entertaining as hell. I love the fact that they've let Cliff finally be able to feel something, and the first thing he feels is zombie brains. So there's a lot to deal with. There's a lot of character here. The stuff that Crazy 8 is going for. No, I said her name wrong. But anywho, it's just Crazy Jane. Crazy 8 is a Hulk villain. Anyway, dudes, yeah, if you haven't checked out Doom Patrol, you are doing yourself a disservice. Now, granted, it is way out there, so some people just don't like it. I'm not going to say don't get it. They just don't like it. Me, I've loved this stuff.
Number 18.
You want to know how to piss off half the country? Tell them how much you like Terminal List. Oh my, I've never seen a show so undeserving of the vile hatred this gets. And it seems to be political more than based on what's on the screen. This is a pretty good, and it's a basic paint by numbers revenge flick. I wouldn't call it paint by numbers, actually. There's a lot of good stuff here. There's a lot of innovative stuff as well. I think the script was very well written. The action is very well filmed. Now, granted, you do have shows where it's all about the character and not the action. Some people say it had pacing problems like that. Like maybe they should have mixed in the action and the story and the character a little bit more. I do not see that. This thing for me went by very quickly, and I enjoyed every single bit of it.
Number 17.
I've gotten pushback on things I've liked this year, and I don't think anything more so than the fact that I enjoyed Ms. Marvel. That's one hell of an entertaining show. In spite of the off-screen shenanigans, I like the family scenes. Actually, even in the comic book, the family scenes are stronger than when it actually tries to be a comic book. You know, so here it's kind of the same way. When she's with the family and she's working that family dynamic, it works a lot more than when she's superheroing. Although I did enjoy some of the superheroing and watching how they transformed what would have been an awkward power to transform from comic to TV into something they could actually use for the TV show. Ultimately, yeah, give me the Marvels. Give me a Ms. Marvel season 2. I'm in. And by the way, that little actress, God bless her. She's a geek like us, and she's proving it.
Number 16.
These Marvel specials came out of nowhere to me. Maybe you guys heard about them before. I didn't. Werewolf by Night proved to be pretty decent, and I was thinking, okay, but the Guardians kind of look silly and stupid. Holy crap, was it fun. It was one of the few Christmas specials this year that I watched more than once. It's just pure entertainment. They give Mantis the center stage, and I got to tell you, she plays it well. I don't even know how to pronounce Palm's last name, so I'm not going to try it. She takes control. She's a great character, and they finally showed it. You know, she's always in the background with a one-liner here. Drax is Drax. You know, it's kind of got an edge, too, because they actually hurt people in their pursuit of Kevin Bacon. At one point in time, she literally steals a map and cash from somebody by using her superpowers. This is, once again, it's just a lot of fun. I would love for Kevin Bacon to have an origin story as well. Don't make him a superhero. Make him an original Marvel MCU character called Kevin Bacon with superpowers. Let's bring it on in.
Number 15.
Reacher. Man, a friend of mine just would not shut up about this show. So finally, I had to put it on, check it out. I do know a little bit about the character. I know Tom Cruise isn't the character. This guy is, because he's supposed to be over 6 feet tall in a big freaking brick shit house. This is a good little murder mystery. Now, I'm not quite sure about the character of or how he plays Reacher, because it's almost like an idiot savant who's really only good at violence. And maybe that's how he's supposed to be, but he's also supposed to be a really good detective. But he kind of plays him, I don't know, it's kind of smart and dumb at the same time. Maybe that's what he's going for. Either way, it's a thoroughly entertaining show. And I do have to appreciate the fight scenes in the beginning, but after a while, you get to know, well, he's the biggest guy in the room. He's going to win.
Number 14.
Now we are at the little TV show that could. Man, when they announced Wednesday Addams, I was just like, oh, no. I don't want this. I'm an Addams Family fan, but when they focus on Wednesday, I could see the whole woke SJW thing coming down the pike. And granted, there were spots in this TV show that did skirt that. But overall, it was able to overcome that little bit and become entirely enjoyable. And I even like the fact that they kept Gomez Adams to the cartoon, to the comic strip. And Luis Guzman is freaking a national treasure, in my opinion. I met the man at Universal Studios. He's a great guy. This show, completely badass.
Number 13.
Superman and Lois season 2, I loved after a certain point. I mean, I was excited when you get this big cave and they're hearing boom, boom, boom. I'm like, whoa, they're bringing in Doomsday, dude. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I can't wait to Doomsday. Let's see what they do with Doomsday. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, he's burst through and he's in the Doomsday outfit. Now he's Bizarro. That kind of was like, dude, no. You don't waste the Death of Superman story on Bizarro. That's not what they did. But after I was able to come to grips with that, this is a great parallel universe story with, I mean, basically it's Bizarro world. And that's what they play out. And it is intense. It's intense. This story, they actually were able to build a lot of suspension into this. I love this episode. I love this season.
Number 12.
Alice in Borderlands 2 was one of my most anticipated TV shows of this year. And it comes out right at the end. And it starts off and you see a guy playing a shooter game where he's basically just running around blowing citizens away. And this becomes something because that is one of the bosses in this game. And even Alice in Borderlands 1 kind of played like a video game itself. This one kind of steers a little bit more into it, even though they still have a few children's games to play here. And what I really want to know is what's going on. Why is this happening? They explain everything here as to why these people are in this game world. At the same time, they leave just a little crack open for a third season. This ended up being more psychological than physical. And that impressed me. I was surprised that they even decided to go into that direction. But I am so glad they did because they just added layers to the show that wasn't there before.
Number 11.
Keeping to the whole Korean TV thing, we're going to go with the zombie TV show. It's All of Us Are Dead. A whole bunch of high school students try to survive the zombie plague as there is a superpowered teenage zombie coming chasing him. Wow, I described that badly. But it is a very intense show, and there is no character big enough to die, not at the end. So it really keeps you on your toes. I like this one. Granted, there were a few things that as an adult I would have done differently. I would have written it differently. But overall, I got to say, this TV show was on point. The scenes with the baby, those kind of had me on edge a little bit more than the others, though.
All right, starting the top 10. Number 10.
House of the Dragons isn't as good as Game of Thrones so far, but it's still pretty damn good. And I'm surprised that in a year that Matt Smith is getting a lot of derision for Morbius, he's getting a lot of praise for this show, and it's deserved too. I think this is just as intriguing as Game of Thrones. It's just as interesting, just as, I can't really say fun. There's no jokes. Everybody's so dour all the time, it seems like. But there just seems to be a lot of the playing of the Game of Thrones, shall we say, in this one. And also not a lot of sexplanation, as they put it there. Otherwise, let me tell you something. I am jazzed for this next season. Please let there be another season. Ladies and gentlemen, finish watching your TV shows so you can save them from cancellation. This one deserves another season.
Number 9.
Admittedly, I was going to pass on Tulsa King. Yeah, I don't know why. It was just like, I don't know. Sylvester Stallone is a gang boss. I don't know if I want to watch this. And okay, so I gave it a shot, and wow, that was so cool. I liked it. And Sylvester Stallone, he doesn't start off as a mob boss, of course. He's an enforcer. And even at his age, he's pretty big. I wouldn't want to tussle with him, for sure, right? That's actually played in, by the way. He meets a lady, and she thinks he's a lot younger than he is, and he reveals, yeah, I'm 72 or 73, something like that. And she's like, okay, I'm out. But overall, damn, he does well. He plays mobster well. There is one scene, however, where I'm thinking, you know what, this could be done with a shotgun. He comes in and he intimidates people physically, but he returns someplace. He'd be like, oh, hi, blam. Okay, let's bury him out in the desert. We're in the freaking desert, you know, but I'm a different breed of cat on this one.
Now we're going to see what's behind the 8-ball.
Now, I am unapologetically a comic book geek. You tell by what's behind me, the fact that I got a channel called I Love Comics. Look, I am thoroughly jazzed when I saw this trailer come out. Holy crap. Obviously, it was going to be a filmed in color digitally black and white kind of show, but it created an atmosphere that felt like the old 1930s, 1940s Universal monster movies. And I'm very glad about that. And when I saw Man-Thing, I had a geekasm. I loved the fact that we got to see the touch of fear. It was thoroughly made for people like me. It was thoroughly made for the geek, for the person who wants to just kick back, relax, and enjoy, as I sometimes say.
Number 7.
Umbrella Academy Season 3 was hated before it got released because this is when Ellen Page became Elliot Page. And aside from the fact that I think that they should have had people accidentally dead name or accidentally, you know, oh, you're he, which, look, I believe that, yes, Elliot Page is a woman that wants to live as a man, not an actual man. But I do think that they should have had some mistakes going through it. Not to focus on the story. I love the fact that they didn't do that. That's the strength of the season, is that they did not make that the focus. They actually dealt with story. They dealt with characters. This is just one of them. I love the fact that we found out the father was the real villain of all along. I love the way we got there in the hook for season 4. Everything in this show, it just seemed to elevate and escalate all the way to the end, to the point where I was on the edge of my seat and wish they could have just fired up season 4 right then and there.
Number 6.
One thing I keep bringing up is fun. Am I having fun watching this show? One of the shows I had the most fun watching was Stargirl season 3. As we see the Ultra Humanite, we finally get to see what's behind Starman's return. We get to see the team deteriorate and then come back together. This is done so freaking well. CW, freaking hell, canceling everything. They should not have canceled Stargirl. Put it on HBO Max. Let's see how it does. I mean, for Christ's sake, you guys need content. And this is a hell of a fun show that showcases, while newer versions, Golden Age heroes and Golden Age villains. We need that. Come on. Yes, we know Batman exists, Superman exists, but you know what, DC? So do all of these smaller characters. And you can actually bring stories out of these smaller DC characters.
Number 5.
Is it me or is the boys getting better? It really is. I dug this season, man. I like the fact that, first of all, this is way better than the freaking comic book. And we're seeing Homelander just reach points of villainy. I mean, like right now, he just kind of embraced it at the end of this season. Like, okay, it seems like I can get away with damn near anything. I knew that before because of my power. Now it seems morally as well. And that's a scary thought, kids. Now, granted, we had their version of Captain America come in and Soldier Boy and try to put a stop to the Homelander. Didn't work out, of course, as we know, because he's the main villain. But overall, damn, I loved watching the journey. In all honesty, I was hoping this would be the season that they did take out the Homelander. It's kind of getting a little bit too Legion of Doom-y to me. Let's move on to a different villain or something along those lines, I guess. But still, I'm in.
Number 4.
Is it possible to build a superhero show off of an awesome dance opening credit scene? It is Peacemaker. Very cool show. Had a lot of fun with it. I mean, everybody did. We didn't expect this to be this good. What the hell happened? I got to tell you, I didn't like the fact that he killed Rick Flag, but they brought that into the show to give it a little bit of emotional weight. This is a comedy show with superhero annex instead of a superhero show with comedy annex like the MCU. And I said John Cena was going to be good at comedy all the way back when I first saw him in Trainspotting. Man, I like this show. Yeah, sometimes it goes for crude's sake, but ultimately it sticks to the story. It sticks to the characters, and it tries to make it about them and not just the plot. And that's what elevates the story. That's what keeps it going. I am jazzed to see what happens next.
Number 3.
I wasn't a big fan of Stranger Things season 3. It was okay, but overall I thought it kind of dipped in quality there. But then season 4 comes, and holy Toledo, was that good. Scary as hell. It had its moments, and it actually brought the characters forward. I was really invested in the Russia stuff. I know that's a little bit away from what they call him, Vecna or whatever his name was, and that stuff was great, but I actually like the Russia stuff a little bit better. This was just an intense show, and I'm glad to see them back in fine form. I do believe it's about time to end it, though. We got the final villain, I guess. Let's end this. I think like if they ended it right now at season 4, it would have gone out on a high, but we saw the gates to hell open up. Let's see where it goes.
Number 2.
Hey, I'm going to get in trouble for this one, but The Walking Dead season 11, I've had people in my comments, oh, I thought that was going to be on the worst list. No, once they changed showrunners, I'm telling you, this thing took off. It really did. This show's been improving for the last 4 or 5 seasons, and I didn't really hate the seasons everybody else wanted to hate because I read in comics and knew that the all-out war was going to be 2 or 3 seasons because of how long it took in the comics, and it's awesome. But this last season, they really kind of bared down and told a really good story. I do think that more people should have died by this one. Just let's get a little bit more of that going. But you know what? That's what people complained about before. So I guess I'm wrong on that one. No, the acting, the special effects, everything is just on point. And damn, the Negan redemption story, I think, made it worth it.
And the number 1 greatest TV show of 2022 is...
Alrighty, kids. Now, I am a comic book fan, but I'm equal parts a movie fan, and I know a hell of a lot. And I got to tell you something. This movie, The Offer, or the TV show, The Offer, about the creation of the Godfather movie, is awesome. This is such a great show, and it's a character study. It is not something that's based on action. It's based on character. It's based on the drama of, well, really getting a movie made. And all of the things that they had to go. I had no idea that the mafia was trying to stop The Godfather because of the way it portrayed Italians and the way they went about going around these things, the way they went through all of these obstacles they had. Is such an intriguing tale. This was my favorite TV show of the year, and I think with good reason. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Amazon Prime. Do yourself a favor. So there you go, gang. That's my list. Those are my favorite TV shows. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? I know I'm going to catch hell for The Walking Dead, but if you have not watched it and you're putting it down, your opinion means little to me. I'm sorry. But if you have been watching it and you think it was still bad, by all means, let me know what you think. All righty. That being said, please click like, share, subscribe if this content kind of was your thing. If you don't mind helping out the channel another way, there's a Ko-Fi link in the description below. Drop $1 in the tip jar. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers and fellow film fans out there, thank you very, very much for watching.